names are out of order. Names out of order aside, we like to start off light with some of the first topics, and we got a nice little Twitter question of the week. Now, this is more so for all our traveling inclined listeners. You know, we've all traveled in groups before, and we've all, no, I'm assuming we all travel by ourselves. So we
Hmm.
all have varying opinions on, travel culture, we'll just call it. So this person asks, at KT Bears X3. Okay, Twitter, let's hear your thoughts on this. If you and your friends plan a trip and it's 13 hours away, so that's a pretty hefty. It's like going across the. It's not like even more than across the state. So it's not like a trip to. Isn't that more than a trip to France? What?
Yeah,
They're talking
Damn.
about the drive though.
the drive. Yeah,
Oh, they drive. Okay, my
and
bad. Okay, so
yeah.
it's 13 hours away, and they want to drive, even though it's that far. Are you wrong for wanting to fly and meet them there because driving is a waste of time, and we are only going for 3 days? So they're kind of. This is a very specific question that this person and their group are
Uh,
going. But to
mhm.
cut out some of the specificity of it, what's your general thoughts on traveling? If it's more convenient for you to fly, are you opposed? Are you for doing your own solo, getting there on your own solo, or do you more strongly believe in traveling with the group? I guess we'll give guest privilege. What do you think on this, CJ? Are you pro? You got to stick with the group, or you're getting there how you want to get there?
Honestly, it depends. I mean, is this family oriented or is this close friends? Because
They
it-
they pose it
with close.
as they pose it as
Hmm.
friends, but yeah, you can you
Okay,
can you can assume that it's like close
friends then.
friends,
Okay,
close
okay,
friends.
okay. Okay, because there's a certain respect when it's family oriented, and then when you're with friends, it's you give leeway to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, uh, I'm definitely more so. I would definitely go with for the whole experience. I'd say group, team group travel plans. You could do solo, but I mean, what's the trip without the shared, you know, moments? Shared tribulations. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, ran out of gas. Dang, you jacked up again, man. Yeah, we're gonna remember this forever. Yeah,
Yep.
and the shared morale. Like, I can't wait to get there. Like, um, versus solo travel. I'll meet you there. You'll get there. And then everybody's trying to wait. It's a difference. It's definitely a difference. I don't think it's going to be as exciting. Everybody flying and meeting there. If we're talking in this general story versus because I paused too because like the person said it's only 3 days, so I kind of get it. You driving for what 13 hours for a 3 day trip. I get it. It sucks because they're not staying that long.
Hmm.
But I mean, hey, bro, like like I said, the shared trials and tribulations, and hey, shoot, they don't want to spend all that money. Shoot, hey, let's go through hell together and get closer.
Got you. Okay, bet. And we haven't heard from you for a while, Wes, and you might even be the most traveled out of all of us. So I'm interested to know what you think. Would you rather take the shared trip with all of your homies, or if it's easier for you to get there or quicker, more convenient, are you more the solo type?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the trip together. And I think there might be a threshold because like if I do look at this story, 3 days, you know, 13 hours there, 13 hours back, that's 26 hours. You drop in a day, like like that's not insignificant. But in general, I'll take a road trip and yeah, we is- take turns driving, whatever, do what we got to do.
Okay,
Because that's part of the experience generally.
okay.
And plus,
Man,
plus, I mean, You saving most likely saving some money.
Some of y'all send experience, and I don't want to get on anyone too quick, but sometimes them car rides be the driver's driving and the passenger sleeping.
Everybody
But
sleeping.
I'm gonna let it
You're
rock.
not wrong.
I'm gonna
You're
let it
not
rock.
wrong. You might have to. You might have to incorporate. Some stops. And yeah, somebody said. I just saw one of the comments. It says depends on where we're driving through and who all going. Because like that's true. Like if you're driving through somewhere that's like dead, like in mad, just flat and nothing to see, nothing to do, nowhere to stop really. Like that's kind of whack. But at the same time, so there has to be a little bit of interest maybe, and like you said, like y'all got to have some morale to
camaraderie.
start with. Yeah, some camaraderie to
Yeah.
start with, or else it is pretty weak. And like I said, if it's a short trip and the time over, that's kind of wild.
Gotcha. How about you, Ghost? A long drive. Are you going with the homies? Or are you taking that short flight or a more convenient flight by yourself?
In general, I lean towards taking the trip together, and I know she brings up the argument that it's less. Well, it might be in her mind less convenient to travel together due to the hours, but I don't know. I feel like if you're taking a flight separately, then you gotta say, okay, when are they gonna arrive? When's my flight gonna arrive? Are we traveling to a hotel together? And it just the logistics of it might end up being easier just to do it all at the same time and y'all driving in the same vehicle, blah blah blah, versus because they'd have to pick you up from the air, but it could turn to a whole thing. So that's one thing.
I don't want
Like
to. I don't want to load onto the scenario. I want to do keep it general, but I think typically it would be like if you are flying, you would and you're staying with friends, you're probably getting an Airbnb. So in their case, they'll get to the airport and they would just take an Uber to the Airbnb, and then they would just be there ahead of time when everybody else would be there chilling.
true. I guess. I mean, I'm thinking that again, like travel time and all that, if you're getting there 10 hours before they are, that's fine, but it's just a little weird.
And I guess I don't want to spend too much time on this, but if you if you were with the if you were with a group and somebody did take that option, would you look at them a little suspect for doing that?
Probably not. It depends on the circumstances. Like when we went to France, if we taken a flight, and this example doesn't really apply, but someone's taking like a ferry or some shit,
Taking a boat.
then yeah, then it'd be weird. It's more so.
I'm gonna start my trip a month out.
Yeah, the example doesn't work too well, but if it doesn't make sense for them to do it on their lonesome and they're just doing it for then I would think like do they got beef with someone or do they think someone stinks and they don't want to share the car with them. But in general I probably say no, that it wouldn't be weird to me if they had valid reasoning.
Got you.
Like I think the traveling together can improve the experience as y'all were getting into, but if you're going on a road trip and the point of the road trip is to like have it be a road trip and you're seeing sights and going to different spots on the way, blah blah blah, then yeah, you kind of got to be there for that. But if it's just something specific that y'all going out to this different location for in the travel, like you're going to be sitting through hours of traffic or some shit, like driving through New York or Boston or something, I could maybe get it in that scenario, but I don't know.
Something else I thought of real quick too is like the destination. Like if somebody's like an enthusiast for something, town that you're going to or the city that you're going through is like super big on that thing, then I think an individual might want to spend more time at the destination. And if that's the reasoning, I think that could be another reason you might want to just get there quickly because some people are really like big on the spot, the destination that they're into.
And yeah, and they would probably you'd probably expect them to give like a disclaimer, like, "Hey, I want to be there. I want to spend a little extra time there, so I'm going to take this route or this option instead." Got
Hmm.
you. And then last but not least, real quick, what about you, Ace? Are you doing the family drive, the family Johnson vacation trip, or are you getting there however you see fit, best see fit?
Nah, yeah, I'm with everybody else. I'll take the drive with everyone.
Nice.
Um, I was
Unanimous.
thinking in terms of the our planned Chicago trip.
Oh
Um,
my God.
and like even like that was gonna be a short trip. And even for that, if we had decided we were gonna drive instead of fly and
You would have
eat
made it.
into which, okay,
I said you would have made it there.
yeah, we would have made it. Wouldn't have had to cancel, but also I mean, yeah, the drive would have been part of the experience of the trip as well. That's how I would have thought of it. Um, so yeah, I definitely think pretty much regardless of the length of the trip, unless there's something specific I want to do on a day and we're not going to reach in time if we drive, like unless it's a situation like that.
Mm,
Um, I think going with the is the way to go.
got you. Okay. Well, we're definitely team or pro travel with your homies out here. But obviously, depending on I think you brought up one of the best points. Depending on CJ, depending how close you are with the people, you might feel more or less inclined to stick it out with them.
Very true. Very true.
I do want to put that out there that I don't want to get crazy with the topic, but that is a female who put that up there, and I mean, if we all been listening to the news as of recently,
Let's
there
not
was
get
a.
too crazy on the first one. I already see where you're going.
I
Let's
want to hear
not.
where this is going. Hold on. I don't know what's.
I, I'm just saying, yeah, you definitely have to have camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a sad topic, but not all females are really friends with each other. So you have scenarios on the news where they
Oh
go
Lord.
together as a group and come back with a
Oh
missing
my
person. You know
god.
what I'm saying?
I know what you're
So,
talking about now.
Oh man. We
so,
couldn't. We can't start. That's supposed to be
so,
light-hearted.
hey, I couldn't let it escape when I started really looking at who posted it, and I seen it was a Katie complaining. So I was like, if Katie's complaining, how close are you with your friends? Because
Yeah, she got beef with someone. Like this doesn't even need
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a less
Oh Lord,
controversial
have
tangent here.
mercy. Like
There's also the question of whether
get
people
canceled
like
on the first
flying.
topic, huh?
There's also the question of whether people like flying, and Quest and I were
Mhm,
talking about
mhm.
this a little bit, and flying can be quite annoying if you do it
Yeah.
enough, and so I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
at this point, I think Quest, you said you prefer a drive. I think I'm getting there too. Uh, if I can drive and it's not outrageous the length of time, and especially if we can swap drivers, I think I think driving is a little better in a way.
No, you're absolutely right. I do prefer driving, but conversely, if I was traveling with the group and they were flying, and I really wanted to drive, I would obviously suck it up and just fly with them as
Yeah,
well. Fair enough. Well, if anyone's wondering what the vibe of this podcast is going to be, the energy we're on. Uh, but I guess let's keep it pushing. We got a bunch of topics and we got a bunch of people on, so we want to keep things in order and pushing.